You're listening to the Life Friendly Business Podcast. I'm your host, Erin Thomas Wong, business mentor, author, and founder of the Cocoon VIP membership, empowering women around the world to build businesses on their terms. If you want to grow and scale a business that works in harmony with your family and your life, this podcast is for you. Do you feel like other people are so much better at getting seen? Do you feel frustrated every time you see your competitor out there getting seen, getting press, winning awards? Do you feel like you should be getting yourself out there, but just something keeps holding you back? I get it, because for years, this was me. And often it's not about lack of opportunity, about getting visible. It's that our mindset is holding us back. So one of my first businesses was a co-founder of Ealing Mums in Business with my business partner, Shelley. And we used to hold networking meetings where we would stand up at the beginning and welcome people and sometimes do a little talk. Now for Shelley, she was completely at ease with this. Her background was in training. She was used to standing up in front of people. She wasn't fazed by difficult questions, and she spoke eloquently. For me, the idea of standing up and talking to people or being open to questions was absolutely terrifying. I'd worry about it for hours beforehand. When I spoke, I could feel my cheeks burning and I could feel that everyone was watching me going bright red, and I'd trip over my words. It was much easier for me to hide behind Shelley. In 2016, when I had launched back then Making Mumpreneurs, now Life Friendly Business, I had a realization that if I didn't speak up and share my message, no one else would. This was a solo business. It was all down to me. And that's when everything changed and I decided to step up. I invested in help from an energy healer who really helped unblock a lot of fear surrounding public speaking. I also invested in a business mentor and coach to help me build my confidence when it came to running my business. And I also followed Tony Robbins. I don't know whether you've heard of him, the American motivational speaker. And I attended his 4-day immersive life coaching event called Unleash the Power Within, which was just so empowering and uplifting. And these things have really, really helped me take that step up in my business and be confident about being seen and about getting visible. And my business has thrived ever since. I absolutely love helping my members and my mentoring clients overcome this fear of visibility, because it's something that I can see is holding so many women back. Because the truth about visibility is that it's a decision. You have to decide that you're going to put yourself out there, even if it's scary. You can't hide behind your brand, and you need to make visibility a priority. So often I find people in this self-fulfilling prophecy. They've started a business, they've left their previously successful career, perhaps in a corporate environment, to start their own business. They might feel like a fish out of water because all of this stuff is out of their comfort zone. Like many of us, me included, we've never run a business before we start. And so we're learning all these new skills. And we're also very aware that we no longer have the support of an employer or a boss. So these women are nervous, of course, about what people are going to think about them, but especially they're nervous about the judgment that might come from their ex-colleagues. They're worried that they're not good enough, and they're worried that they don't know enough in order to be selling their product or service. So what that means is that they hold themselves back. They don't shout about what they're doing. They're terrified to put that post up on LinkedIn because all they're thinking about is what those ex-colleagues might think of them. Or I also find that a lot of people are terrified of what their friends and family will think. So therefore they hold back on platforms like Facebook because they've got all these stories in their heads of the criticism that they're going to receive. And note that I said stories in their heads because often we are our own worst critic, and the things that we think people are thinking are so much worse than they actually are. I love the quote about people are too busy thinking about themselves to actually spend much time thinking about us. So what happens is they've left the corporate world, for example, they've started their own business, but they've got all these fears going on and they've got all this inner critic talk. And so they hold back and they don't shout about what they're doing. So guess what happens? They don't get the sales they need. They don't get the clients. They don't sell their product or their service. So then they feel like a failure and they tell themselves, well, I knew I wasn't good enough to do this. I knew I didn't know, it's exactly their fear. Their fear has come true. But the only reason that has happened is because they haven't pushed themselves to get visible. They haven't pushed themselves out of their comfort zone. So can you see how that is a self-fulfilling prophecy? And all they need to do is start at the beginning and start being brave and putting themselves out there. And then people will know about them and then they're going to make more sales. So if you resonate with any of this, it's totally normal. I speak to women every week who are in this situation. And this is something that I can help you with. This is something that we can help you with in the cocoon. I think the fact is that when you recognize how many other women feel the same, it makes it so much easier to overcome. So this is about making a decision not to let your inner critic hold you back, not to hide behind your brand or hide behind your logo, and to stand proud and shout about what you do. So here's my challenge to you. If you have been holding back from really putting yourself out there and you are ready to step up, I want you to decide to make getting visible a priority. From now on, say yes to opportunities that come your way, even if they scare you. So here are 3 quick ways that you could get more visible. Number 1, use video or live video to connect with your audience on a deeper level. Don't be afraid to show the real you. Don't be afraid to show the person behind the business. You are your best advocate. You are the one that started this business. You have your reasons as to why you started your business. I have no doubt that you feel passionate about what it is that you are trying to help people with. And that can come across so well in video. In the cocoon, we do regular Facebook Live threads and Facebook Live challenges throughout the year. And I find so often that giving women a safe space in order to practice these videos gives them the confidence that they need to then go live on their business page or in their groups. And it establishes them, it establishes their authority and helps people see the person behind the business. And that's what we all love. And that is what is going to help you sell more. Number 2, look for collaborations. For example, could you apply to be interviewed on people's podcasts? Could you write a guest blog post for another community or another organization? Could you co-host an event with someone who has a complementary business? Think about how collaborations can benefit you, but also the person that you are collaborating with. Try and expand your network and your reach by doing this. And number 3, apply for awards. Don't wait to be nominated. Most awards invite you to apply yourself. And I know that this is something that so many of you hold back on because you feel like you couldn't possibly put yourself out there to say, look, I'm good at this. But you can and you should. You need to apply. And even if you just get the nominated badge or the shortlisted badge, this is amazing free PR. And it actually helps build credibility and establishes your authority. You don't even need to win the award. It's being in there. It's being in the game that counts. I also think that applying for awards is a great way for you to reflect on your success so far. And remember what I said about if you don't shout about it, if you don't shout about what you're doing, if you don't shout about the impact that you've made on people, if you don't tell people that you've been able to help, then no one's going to know. This is down to you. It's your decision. Do you want people to know that you are making a difference? Do you want more people to buy from you so that you can grow a thriving business and be helping more people? I imagine the answer is yes. And so you need to make the decision to get visible and put yourself out there. So 3 ways that you can do that now. 1, use video to connect with your audience. We all know as well that the social channels love you to use video, and your posts are likely to reach more people than if you write a text post. Number 2, look for collaborations that will be mutually beneficial to both parties. And number 3, be brave and apply for awards. Don't wait to be nominated. So which of these will you do first? I would love you to reach out on social and let me know at Life Friendly Biz and tell me which of these techniques that you're going to use, or whether you have decided that you are going to start saying yes to more opportunities and make getting visible a priority. So if this has resonated with you today and you realize that you've been holding yourself back from getting visible, perhaps you're in this self-fulfilling prophecy right now, really dig into what's going on here and recognize if you are limiting yourself. Recognize if all the thoughts you've got going on in your head are actually your own inner critic rather than the reality of how people are responding to you. Actually, you know, a great example of the whole fear of getting visible is someone that I met at the Tony Robbins event. And she is such an impressive person, and she is in a band, and she'd also written a book. And you know what? She didn't tell any of her friends and family that she'd written a book, and she doesn't really tell people when she was going to be performing in the band because she was so terrified of their judgment. And she came to the Tony Robbins event, and we worked a lot on limiting beliefs, and she made the decision there and then that she was going to put herself out there and be visible. Guess what happened? Everyone flooded her with support and praise. And if you don't put yourself out there, you are stopping people from being able to do that to you. If you're just deciding that you're not going to risk being hurt or criticized, what you're actually doing is also preventing yourself from gaining that amazing support, which I guarantee your friends and family are probably ready and waiting to throw at you if you just let them. So if you'd like more help in getting visible, please reach out. I love being able to hold a mirror up at people and show them that perhaps this is what you're doing. Perhaps you are doing this self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, actually, it's not the fact that you don't have opportunities to get visible. It's your mindset that's holding you back. And the Cocoon VIP membership is an amazing place to be to help you do that, to help keep yourself accountable, but also be inspired when you hear other women in the group talking about them overcoming their own fears of getting visible, and you can see quite literally the difference in their business when they've made that decision to get visible. So like I said, this is a decision, and I would love you to make that decision right now today that you are going to get visible. Don't wait 8 years like I did. The time is now, and your business will thank you. See you next week. Honestly, it can feel like there is a lot you need to learn when building a thriving business, and it's easy to feel like you'll never know everything you need to be successful. But it is possible, just so long as you stay focused on building the right knowledge and skills. When you join the Cocoon VIP membership, you'll have the opportunity to book a one-to-one orientation call with me, and I'll help you to prioritize the activities that will have the biggest impact on your business and direct you to the materials in the library that you need. There's no need to learn it all. We'll just focus on the things that will make the biggest difference to you. we have everything you need to build a life-friendly business. So check out The Cocoon now at lifefriendlybusiness.com/cocoon.